New Delhi, and Mr. Tibet Sringla, former representative of His Holiness Dalai Lama, New Delhi, and Father Dr. Thomas with us today on this auspicious occasion. As we have started the day with undertaking of Aspirational Bodhisattva Pledge, we will now proceed with the launch of Diploma course in Nalanda Buddhist philosophy, for which I would like to request our director, Venerable Geshe Dorji Abdullah, to address the gathering.
It is a great honor for Tibet House to welcome all here, and respected Dr. Kapilaji and Mr. Tibet Sringla, Mr. Kumutullah, then Father Thomasji, and each one of you here. It is a great joy for Tibet House. Okay. For the okay. So we all know that since this morning we come to know that today corresponds to the Tibetan New Year. So happy Losar all of you. Losar means New Year. Happy Losar all of you. And perhaps, I'm not too sure, perhaps it may be the first time in the history of Tibet House that we organize the celebration of the Tibetan New Year in this hall, in the Tibetan venue, for many reasons. And today, and of course it's not because that the people today, they are very special, and the people before, they are not so special. This is not the reason. It's all because that today we were launching 1-year diploma course in Nalanda Buddhist studies. So it so corresponds, because this is a very important endeavor, the Nalanda Master's course. I'm going to explain a little bit later, a little more on this a little later on. The point is that this is a very important endeavor. And of course, this tradition all came from Nalanda. Nalanda, the erstwhile Nalanda University. So from 1st century AD till 13th century AD. And of course, initially I was thinking of organizing the same program in a bigger venue outside Tibet House. But because that all these teachings of the Nalanda Master's course, Diploma course, all these things were happening here, are happening here, will happen here. So because that this place is a very sacred, holy place, this hall. So therefore I just want to make everyone feel the sanctity of this place and reap the benefit of this. So in this connection, let me quickly explain to you, the benefit, the why this diploma course, the Nalanda Master's course, diploma course, and the Nalanda Buddhist studies is so important. Is that today, no doubt, we should not be confined to ourselves as Buddhists. What is important is we should identify ourselves as human beings, as world citizens. And the fact is that when we're being hit by the global warming, it's not that, oh, you are non-Buddhist, you will be hit, and the Buddhists will be spared. No, it hits everyone equally. Likewise, the economic crisis which struck the whole world once, 7 years ago, it does not know whether you're Buddhist, non-Buddhist, Hindus, Muslims, Jains, Christians, and whether you are non-believers. This problem doesn't know who you are. They only know that you are somebody who has the potential to suffer and who has the potential to experience happiness. So in this spirit, His Holiness the Dalai Lama, today, for the last, of course, since it is a many years, the effort of His Holiness, particularly nowadays, he invests almost all his energy, effort, and towards this endeavor of promoting universal ethics, oftentimes referred to as the sacred ethics in the world, and that he argues that finally, the world is going through a crisis, all because of the problems, a problem in the modern education system, the limitations of the modern education system. So which His Holiness says that in response to the questions asked by the experts in the various disciplines, like the social activists, the educationists, medical experts, and the economists. So all these people, when they ask one question, His Holiness wherever His Holiness travels. The question is that while the modern education is going to such a height of development, but the human crisis, the crisis in humanity is increasing ever more. So where are we going wrong? This is a question asked to His Holiness. And without any hesitation, His Holiness responds by saying that it is all because of the flaw and the limitation in the modern education system. Modern education system, which is the legacy from the Britishers and from Americans. And so there, how this modern education is designed for your brain development and not for the heart development. Because in the modern education, if you are able to say 2 plus 3 equals 5, you're a pass. If you say 2 plus 3 equals 5-ish, and you have the capacity to become the second Mahatma Gandhi, still you will not be respected. You will be just discounted. So this is modern education. So this, His Holiness says, is not that the modern education is wrong, it is incomplete. So the development of the heart is there, but the emphasis on development of the brain is there, but the emphasis on the development of the heart is missing. So this is what His Holiness is his major concern. For this matter, His Holiness says that now we need some programs to bring about the heart development as well as a part of the modern education curriculum. For that matter, His Holiness calls it universal ethics. Earlier, it used to be called as the secular ethics. Now today, to avoid complications, this came to be known as universal ethics. So this is so important. And universal ethics, the ground, the fabric of the universal ethics is the compassion. Unconditional love for others, compassion. If the compassion is the fabric of your mind, fabric of your thinking, outlook of the world, no doubt the world is going to see a very bright and harmonious world. So it's for this reason that His Holiness emphasizes so much that the universal ethics grounded on compassion must be introduced as a part of the modern education curriculum. So for that compassion, say while the various traditions, Christianity, Hinduism, Islam, Jainism, all these traditions have tremendous ways to contribute to this. Buddhism as well, particularly Buddhism from Nalanda tradition, also has the capacity to make, the render contributions towards that, particularly in terms of how in secular terms you can introduce the concept of compassion, you can introduce the concept of the interdependency of the interdependency of the human beings and the world in which we live in, and then also the intra-human beings, within the human beings, then the intra-religions, civilizations, and so forth. So this is what can be a great contribution that the Nalanda tradition can make. So now Tibet House, in its own ways, as a part of accomplishing His Holiness's dream of making these universal ethics available in the modern education system, first of all, people should know the value of this. For that matter, what we're doing here, particularly the launch of the Diploma course, so this is nothing to do with Buddhism. It simply tells us how to say how to understand, how to have a greater outlook, a more beautiful outlook of the world on the basis of compassion, on the basis of understanding the interdependence of us and others. So this is the genre that we're going to study under the Diploma course. And as a quick, the reasons to share with you is that 2016 December 9, His Holiness the Dalai Lama so kindly um, inaugurated the 4 years Nalanda Master's course, and there are about like 460 applicants, enrollments there, 460 enrollments internationally. And now, because of our own experience, we see that there's a need for a program which would be, say, more like a precursor to the 4 years the Nalanda Master's course. So for that matter, this diploma course, which would help the participants have a very sound ground of the philosophy of compassion and so forth. So this diploma course came into being. So we are very happy that we have Dr. Kapilaji, who is the vice chairperson of the governing body of Tibet House, and the 2 representatives of His Holiness the Dalai Lama, one for the Delhi and all over India, and one for Asia, whole Asia. And then we have my very 2 dear friends here. One is Father Thomas here, and another Dr. T.K. Mishra, the Professor T.K. Mishra there at the back. So, and all my dear friends here. So it is a great joy for us that there's something which is very concrete for the good of the humanity is what Tibet House in its own capacity, in its own ways, is trying to do by launching this 1-year diploma course. And I'd like to also not miss including the names of my very affectionate friends, Mr. Dilesh, and who has been the key, who's taking such a key role in making all these things happen. For example, say Tibet House, we may get say $1 billion, say the support from somebody else, but we need expertise. We need experts to handle all these things. So Diploma, he has been so kind to make sure that all these things happen with such a great precision and expertise. And in fact, wherever I traveled, Singapore, Malaysia, Israel, and wherever within India, wherever I travel, I meet with all the students who are taking part, the students of the Nalanda Master's course, and we get the feedback so touching. They are saying that now we have found the oasis of our life. They provide such a good feedback on this program, and true to his words, that this program is of tremendous benefit, creating the foundation for a sound thinking, compassion, interdependency, through which we look at the world, and we see the world much more beautiful and much more compassionate and much more harmonious. So with this in mind, once again, it's a great coincidence, a deliberate attempt, of course, more like a deliberate attempt to make this the launch of the 1-year diploma course with the Tibet New Year. And also, I'd like to inform you that so wherever I travel, they say somehow I get the credit. People say, oh wow, what a great. In actuality, it is the Diploma to make all these things happen, and it is the Rimala who has been involved with making sure that the transcriptions, the materials available, she's coordinating, she's managing so nicely, so professionally. And this is something which I could hardly imagine happening, even if we have some billions of the dollar support from any of the other institutions or individuals. So this is happening on a very professional level, I should say, all because of these 2 incredibly great contributors. So we all, I'm sure, because this has been live streamed, all those people who are attending the Nalanda Master's course internationally, they're watching this, and all the participants here also, we all should be feeling so grateful to 2 of them, and let us pray that their contributions continue to shower, continue to be there as a part of this program. And then the students, the participants of this program, if you are not there, and then so all the dreams of His Holiness is going to be crushed. So the dreams of His Holiness is that people should be benefited out of all these things. It's not just the programs, it's not just the money, it's not just the beautiful, the display of the programs, but the people should be actually benefited, that they should become, it's not a matter that they should become Buddhists, this is not the idea. Idea is that they should become more sensible person, they should become more compassionate person, they should become somebody who is more open-minded to embrace the good qualities as taught and indicated in the other traditions. So with this in mind, it's a great joy for me to see all of you here, and it is your way of contributing to this, to the well-being of the humanity. So I'm extremely grateful to all the dignitaries here and to all the participants here and to all those who are watching this through live stream. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Geshe-la. May I now request Kumo Tenpa Sringla to address the gathering.
Very brief. Very briefly. Dr. Kapila Vatsian, the dignitary is here facing down, and ladies and gentlemen, I want to congratulate Geshe-la and the Tibet House for launching this simply a wonderful one-year course. And before that, I also wanted to wish you a very happy Tibet New Year. It was the first day of the Tibet New Year. And well, it's very encouraging to see so many young Indians coming to Delhi and to hear and to receive this teaching. His Holiness has very often says that the Tibetans have kept the ancient Indian wisdom alive in Tibet, which came from India to Tibet thousands of years ago. And unfortunately, in this country, this ancient Indian wisdom, which is very relevant and which is very required to the world today, and unfortunately, this is not live, and not much interest is being taken. And sometimes His Holiness says that Indians are more concerned with the material development than their own culture. So His Holiness always advises the Indians to combine these two. Yes, you need this modern development, but at the same time, you have to combine this modern development with your ancient Indian wisdom. If you're able to do this, India can be a leader. Today, the world needs this ancient Indian wisdom, and the world is lack of compassion. There's so much of hatred, jealousy, competition, all these. All these because of your ignorance. And ignorance can only be overcome by controlling your emotion and controlling your mind. And this comes, how to do this is not even the scientists find it difficult to find. Modern scientists, they have gone to the moon, they are on their way to Mars and all that rest, but they are not able to, find really proper way of tackling your mind, tackling your emotion. And so here in India, and we have this method, we have this knowledge. If we can really develop in this in India, practice, and then we can import the world. A world might be a better place, and this is India's greatest gift to the world, greatest gift to the humanity. Therefore, I'm very happy to see that the Tibet House is taking a lot of initiatives, and as Tibet House takes initiative with Geshe-la's guidance, also Geshe-la was mentioning that there are some very, young, determined, dedicated, qualified professionals to assist them. This is wonderful, and I would like to thank Geshe-la and also thank the professionals and thank you all, for coming and taking your interest. And thank you very much.
Thank you, Gumula. Now may I request Mutuk Tongshula to address the gathering.
Most respected Honorable Vice Chairman Dr. Kapilaji, my colleague and senior Kwantembala, Father Thomas, especially Keshe Toshdamdullah, and my friends here. First of all, I extend all warm welcome.
A little louder.
Trashidele today also happens to be the first day of Tibetan New Year. I'm sorry I have a very bad voice. My voice is broken. Hence, I would like to wish you all a very happy and successful New Year. And it is also a double auspicious day, as we Tibetans believe, to commence a new initiative like this program on a Friday. So we have been bestowed with an auspicious start to the second phase of Nalanda course. Whatever little I have able to gather from Keshala's intervention, it is obviously clear that the first Nalanda Masters 4-year course initiated by Tibet House has been very successful. And I believe this experience of success has definitely encouraged all of us to continue with our efforts to coming years. I therefore feel privileged and honored to be part of the launch of this 1-year Diploma course in Nalanda Buddhist philosophy. Of course, I would like to take this opportunity to thank all of you led by Geshe Damdila in Tibet House for this feat. This course should not be deemed as an academic activity of Tibet House. It encapsulates Tibetan people's resilience and the preservation of these rare teachings of ancient India, and are resolved to return back to India in gratitude for enlightening the Tibetan people and for being our most trusted friend and supporter in this hour of great tragedy in our homeland. As His Holiness the Dalai Lama says, it is now for the Indian youths to step up and refocus to learn about the ancient Indian knowledge, which has the potential to benefit the world at large. His Holiness has made it one of his principal commitments. And as all you know, recently he has been saying that on top of his 3 commitments, His Holiness has now 4th commitment to revive the ancient Indian wisdom. To revive the ancient Indian knowledge among young Indians, he is convinced that the rich ancient Indian understanding of the working of the mind and emotions, as well as the techniques of mental training, such as meditation developed by Indian traditions, are of great relevance even today. His Holiness has thus in recent times spared major of his time and energy in teaching and encouraging the Indian youths towards paying more attention to their own ancient knowledge. Based on India's long history of logic and reasoning, and viewed from a secular academic perspective, His Holiness the Dalai Lama believes this knowledge can be combined with modern education to be taught in our schools and educational institutions. In this context, I am hopeful that this new 1-year diploma program will enthuse further interest in the young Indians and encourage us all to continue our quest for a better India and peaceful world. I would take thus and my I would thus end my brief intervention with once again wishing all of you a very happy and successful year ahead and success to the program. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Kumula. May I now request Father Dr. Thomas to briefly address the gathering.
It's a matter of great privilege, honor, and pleasure for me to find myself here as part of the Tibet House family, along with the dignitaries and all of you, especially on the New Year Day. At the outset, I would like to extend to Geshe-ji and all of you here the greetings of the New Year. May the New Year be very auspicious for all of you, for the Tibet House and the entire family here, and of all the Tibetan community in Tibet, in India, and all over the world. Well, I have been part of this Tibet House in a way, in touch with since maybe over decades. But then, after the coming of Geshe-ji, it has come to more intimate, warm levels. Well, being a Catholic priest and working with promoting relations with all communities and working for social harmony for the last 30 years, from a Catholic priest, I have been trying to evolve Catholic in the not in the communal sense, but in the universal sense. Catholic means universal. Thus, finding my close friends in maybe more than 80% in other communities, and that way, with Geshe-ji, I will remember gratefully is a warm, close friend and a scholar and an insightful person. So we are going to work in that line more closely. And personally, I admire His Holiness Dalai Lama very much for the universal ethics he is promoting, the universal values he promotes, and the aspiration he is bringing down to the ground in line with going beyond religion. And I am very much inspired by him, and also traveling in that line to go from religion to all religions and even beyond. I think that is a journey of the humans together. So in that way, Geshe-ji and myself, we are trying to collaborate closely to explore further inspiration from the Dalai Lama. And I am very happy that His Holiness has gone beyond the boundaries of the Tibetan community to the national community in India and to the world community as a world leader, making the world a better place to live in for people of all communities, all believers and all ideologies. So today I pray in a special way that the blessings of His Holiness come down upon all the Tibetan community members in India and world over, and to all communities, people of all human beings, that inspiration may make this world a better place to live in with better ethics, universal level and universal values, and thus that the humans, wherever we may have our origin, we may travel from one's own community to all communities, and thus go beyond to spiritual levels and value levels. So once again, I extend the felicitations of this new year. May the new year be full of a sense of newness, not only one day, today and the coming 2 days, but all the days of the year and beyond. So, thank you very much.
Thank you, Father Dr. Thomas. May I now request our Director, Venerable Geshe Dorji Damdula, to present the dignitaries with Khatak and solemnness. Thank you, Geshe-la. I would now like to request Mr. Dipesh Thakur to present the overview of the diploma course in Nalanda Buddhist philosophy.
Respected Venerable Geshe-la, Sri Kapilaji, Tempana, Dr. Father Thomas, and all my dear friends. It's a great honor for me to represent Tibet House, and I think I'll keep it brief. Geshe-la gave a pretty good overview of the diploma course, but to give a true overview, I think we'll have to go back a few years where the roots of Nalanda Master's course took place. I think the first time I came, it was like 2012, and like me, there were so many people who were very, very regular. So we very seriously felt that we need to create a separate framework, a separate kind of audience for Venerable Geshe-la so that he can go deeper and deeper, So that was basically the background, and Geshe-la showered his lot of kind words in his speech, but honestly, I did not know that I had that capability. So sometimes I jokingly tell Geshe-la that if I knew I had to do so much of work, I would have said no. So it's very glad that I did not truly understand the gravity of work, but I feel extremely satisfied and I feel extremely honored that at least a little bit of benefit one can be in returning the kindness of teachers, So we feel, not only me, there are so many of us, we talk about this, that it's truly a blessing to have a teacher like Venerable Geshe-la in a city like Delhi. I don't know, I see a lot of foreigners here, I don't know what your experience is. I'm very sure it's not very pleasant, So, so to have a person like Geshe-la and get these teachings in a mad city like Delhi, it's truly, truly like remarkable. So I think the diploma course, we're doing it other way around. We launched the master's course first, and then we're launching the diploma course. And the reason for that is when we launched the master's course, exactly when His Holiness launched it 1 year, 2 months and 7 days ago, on 9th December, till even last month, we are still receiving applications for master's course. So the enthusiasm across the globe is way, way, way much, and it's very difficult for us in Tibet House, and specifically Venerable Geshe-la, to say no to somebody who's so enthusiastic about Dharma. So as of now, we've done close to like 400 hours of teachings in master's course. So it's very difficult for anybody to join now and catch up with so many of classes. So that was the intention, that we able to create a framework in a shorter duration. Teachings would be in English, whether you're regular, online, whatever, you're most welcome to attend the course. And we did like just informal like awareness of the course through email, WhatsApp. So far we've even received close to 225 applications. So, which is quite fantastic. That really means that I do hear a lot of people telling me that people are not genuinely interested in the Nalanda tradition, although small in number compared to the whole world. But I still feel that if it's done in a proper way and with teachers like Venerable Geshe-la, there is a lot of appetite for this, in terms of genuinely trying to learn and adopt it in their personal lives. That is what I think I know my colleagues, classmates of my master's course, everybody is trying that, So it's a journey and we've started, so we're very glad, and we feel that if this course, not only the first batch, but many, many more future batches may be benefited by this. So if, like Geshe said, that if somebody, I think there are a lot of new faces, a lot of young faces, they were to ask, what is this Nalanda legacy? Then I think, although I'm not fully qualified, but if you were to, in brief, say it's just trying to develop this unconditional love and the wisdom. Tenpala spoke briefly about that it's all due to our ignorance, and His Holiness is like the true beacon, that if we are able to develop this wisdom, and it's a very specific type of wisdom, which I think people who have been exposed to the teachings would understand what I'm saying, but to be able to even get access to that, we feel extremely lucky, and we feel that through these courses, none of the courses, that more and more people can benefit, and be really, really wonderful. So we at Tibet House sincerely hope that this opens a door to genuine happiness to more and more people, and being a pilot program, and so I would also say that we may go wrong, so we would request participants and applicants to be a little forgiving, give us the feedback so that we can improve, because in Tibet House we've not done this before. I've never done this before, so we would like to have genuine feedback wherever we can improve. We'll be happy to take that. So, and before, I would also like to thank Gishla for introducing, and all my teachers for introducing this great legacy, and then if I start like 2600 years, I think we should thank Buddha for turning the wheel of Dharma, and then the Nalanda masters going to Tibet, and in Tibet for close to centuries and centuries, this rich tradition was preserved so well, and then obviously His Holiness for being the true beacon and showing and showering so much of kindness across the globe, and all the Tibetans who suffered tremendously, and they still suffer. There is still no resolution to that cause, but I sincerely hope that, through these teachings, through knowledge, through proper education, the barriers are reduced at least, if not removed. And lastly, all the vendors, all the participants of Tibet House, shaking. So anyway, so Tibet House vendors, participants, Tibet House staff, Ashokji, Chautala, our ex-secretary, Daitullah, we had our ex-multimedia coordinator, Kelsangla, who actually set up all the live streaming, recording, all that. Our librarian who's working as a photographer today, Pendal Sepala. We have our museum in charge. She's, I think, because of the Losar holidays, a lot of Tibet House staff, they've gone back home. So we have, the museum in charge who's helping us in small ways, big ways. Our current secretary, Tenchula, Kelsangla, Kunsangla, Nimala. So, these are all our staff, and then there are other which I'm not naming, kitchen staff, security staff, through, whose contribution the Tibet House runs, because that is the way we can benefit people, So I'd like to thank everybody and all the applicants, all the participants. So thank you very much, and now I would request our respected guests to launch the course, Tenchula, thank you.
At the request of many enthusiasts, Tibet House launched formally a Tibetan language course in 2011 to meet the needs of the aspirants. There are 4 levels of learning offered at a very nominal fee. Until date, 13 batches have been successfully completed. After the successful completion of each batch, we confer certificates to those who have passed the final exam. Today, for the 13th batch, we are happy to distribute the certificates. Many students could not join us today, but those who are present, I'll read out their names and I request them to come to the stage to receive the certificates, and I request our guest of honor, Kumar Tibet Sring La, to present the certificates to the students. First, we have Tsirin Dashi. Prashanta Kumar Pal. Sir Arindam Das. Vipul Nida. Mrs. Ruth Chauhan. Miss Rachel Dichin Sharma. I also would like to invite our Tibetan language teacher, Mr. Tsawon Gelsen. Thank you, Bhuma. Tibet House is very fortunate to have great supporters and friends who have rendered their help whenever we need it. We are so grateful to them and would like to felicitate few of them. I request Dr. Ankit Goyal to come up, and I request Dr. Sapira Bachchan to honor them with Khatak and Solina. Miss Radhika Kapoor. Miss Pooja Dabran.
Yeah, you have to be on this side.
Before we conclude, I would like to request our director to address the gathering.
Okay, in fact, one of my very good friends, Professor T.K. Mishra, he already left, so we are meant to felicitate him also. So in fact, we're collaborating with Professor T.K. Mishra, who is from Ramanujan College. And it's an amazing thing that in Ramanujan College, there's a separate center for universal ethics. So I was constantly encouraging him, why not to spread this center, spread the idea of this center in the other colleges and universities. So this was what I was constantly encouraging, and very recently he organized a massive, huge program, a workshop for the teachers from various colleges in India, from the various states, and that in collaboration with the Indian government on training the teachers into universal ethics. So last year, Tibet House and Ramanujan College to collaborated to organize a program on universal ethics. So this is going to be an ongoing program every year. So this year is going to be the responsibilities Tibet House will take, and it's always the alternate between the two institutions. And then another thing that we have is, of course, there are many of my friends, of course, Tibet House friends, who collaborate with Tibet House to promote the values for humanity. So one of which, Professor Thomas Shi, who very clearly indicated during his the speech that again Tibet House is collaborating with Professor Thomas Shi to go beyond, to organize programs to go beyond religions. So this is what I'd like to inform you. And before we come to the end, to the time for the lunch, I also like to bring to your notice that it is the kindness of the Indian government that Tibet House is the vision of His Holiness, the dream of His Holiness in establishing Tibet House, and being supported by the Indian government financially. So therefore, Tibet House thus far, right from the beginning, of course, there were the other institutions, other departments, individuals who supported Tibet House. We have the main support, or the grant is coming from the Indian government. So we're extremely grateful and thankful to the Indian government, the Ministry of Culture. And over the years, the joint secretaries, they are being extremely, supportive, sensible to the importance, the significance of the program run by Tibet House, and being very supportive. So this is how Tibet House has been running, and despite as I said earlier, even the programs, there are 460 students in the Nalanda Master's course, and our main coordinator, the Diploma, and our assistant coordinator, Gunsana, two of them are worried that the Diploma course may cross 500 students, and if cross 500 students, then how do we manage? So this was the concern. So I said that it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Somehow, because of the blessings of His Holiness, things will unfold. The point is that 500 for the humanity, 500 is so less. And crossing 500 is very auspicious. There are more number of people taking interest in this. This is amazing. So this is what I've been constantly sharing with two of them, that don't worry, that there be more people. This is good news for us, that more people are interested in the legacies of the great Indian masters. So let us pray that His Holiness the Dalai Lama, the true source of joy and happiness on this earth, then who really thinks for the world, You look at there are so many leaders in the world, political leaders, religious leaders. Political leaders, they think about my country, the political party. And the religious leaders, they think about my religion. And then all these dissensions between the religions that happen. It's not that all, but mostly. And then those who are more open-minded, they remain more calm and quiet, because they don't want to be involved in the problems. So but His Holiness is the one who so openly comes out to work for the humanity. So this is what we should be extremely feeling grateful. We should be so lucky. We are so fortunate that we are born at the same era that such an enlightened being, such a sun, actually appeared on this earth, His Holiness the Dalai Lama, and that we are breathing the same air as he's breathing, and we are treading the same earth that he's treading. So we are very fortunate. So from that point of view, it is worthwhile for us to pray that His Holiness lives long and that His wishes come true. And His wishes is the wishes for the humanity, for the good of humanity, for the good of the world. So this is what we all pray before we end. Okay, so with this, and then of course, yes, our moderator missed to mention one name, Mr. Ashokji. Mr. Ashokji, yeah, Mr. Ashokji, the one at the, again, please come up, Mr. Ashokji. Mr. Ashokji, so in what way Mr. Ashokji is again instrumental here is that he's an amazing person, amazing being, Mr. Ashokji and Mr. Prashantji, right? So in what way we are related is that we met two of them, say a year, 2 years ago, and then they came up with the idea of, say, organizing a drama of the Buddha, and then just observing how two of them are fully dedicated, not at all thinking about financial implications, financial benefits, so forth, just working for that purpose. Then seeing their passion there, seeing their concern for the world and the passion, then I picked up the idea that of course it's amazing, we have to support each other who think about the world. So therefore, Mr. Ashokji and the Dr. Prashantji, two of them, they are taking the sole responsibility to organize a drama on Buddha, which is going to be performed in March in India, and if it's successful, then we'll carry this to the different states. So this is our dream. So I'd like to felicitate two of them as well. Mr. Timbala, okay, yeah, Mr. Okay, fine. Okay, give a big round of applause. We have Prashantji. In fact, Prashantji is a scientist. He's a scientist, and he gave a wonderful talk on nanotechnology in Tibet House. Thank you very much. Okay, so so I heard the food gathering delays a little bit. So therefore, before that, we may conclude the program by reciting the long prayer for His Holiness the Dalai Lama. Tejala, which page? 251. The book, the brown book, The Blaze of Non-Dual Bodhisattvas, page 251. Okay, the Shalinila, would you mind? Page number?
251. Prayer for the long life of His Holiness the Dalai Lama. Om Shravasti, to the assembly of most kind teachers, both present and past, the miraculous dance of the body, speech and mind of innumerable Buddhas, manifesting in the form of absolute spiritual capacities. the wish-granting jewel, the source of all virtue and goodness, to you we offer our prayers with fervent devotion. That Tenzin Gyatso, protector of the land of snows, live for 100 eons. Shower on him your blessings so that his aspirations are fulfilled without hindrance. To the assembly of all meditational deities, manifesting as countless mandalas and divinities, the magical clouds of immaculate transcendent wisdom, reaching to the farthest expanse of the space of ultimate reality, to you we offer prayers with fervent devotion. That Tenzin Gyatso, protector of the land of snows, live for 100 eons. Shower on him your blessings so that his aspirations are fulfilled without hindrance. To all the victorious Buddhas of the three times, endowed with 10 powers and who are even masters of the gods, and whose attributes of perfection are the source of all compassionate deeds, benefiting the vast ocean-like realm of sentient beings, to you we offer prayers with fervent devotion. That Tenzin Gyatso, protector of the land of snows, live for 100 eons. Shower on him your blessings so that his aspirations are fulfilled without hindrance. To the assembly of sacred doctrine embodied in the three vehicles, supreme, serene, a jewel treasure of enlightenment, stainless, unchanging, eternally good, and the glory of all virtues, which actually liberates beings from the sufferings of the three worlds. To you we offer prayers with fervent devotion. That Tenzin Gyatso, protector of the land of snows, live for 100 eons. Shower on him your blessings so that his aspirations are fulfilled without hindrance. To all members of the enlightening noble spiritual community, who never stray from the thoroughly liberating adamantine city, who possess the wisdom eye that directly sees the profound truth, and the highest valor to destroy all machinations of cyclic existence. To you we offer prayers with fervent devotion. That Tenzin Gyatso, protector of the land of snows, live for 100 eons. Shower on him your blessings so that his aspirations are fulfilled without hindrance. To the assembly of heroes and darkinis, heavenly beings of the three worlds, who appear in the highest paradises, in the sacred places, and in the cremation grounds, and who through creative play in the hundredfold experiences of bliss and emptiness support practitioners in their meditation on the excellent path. To you we offer prayers with fervent devotion. That Tenzin Gyatso, protector of the land of snows, live for 100 eons. Shower on him your blessings so that his aspirations are fulfilled without hindrance. To the ocean of protectors endowed with eyes of transcendent wisdom, the powerful guardians and upholders of the teachings, who wear inseparably on their matted locks the knot symbolizing their pledge to the Vajra holder, to you we offer prayers with fervent devotion. That Tenzin Gyatso, protector of the land of snows, live for 100 eons. Shower on him your blessings so that his aspirations are fulfilled without hindrance. Thus to this congregation of excellent, undeceiving refuge, we pray that by the power of this prayer, expressed from a heart filled with fervent devotion and humility, may the body, speech and mind of the soul of the land of snows, the Supreme Naman Losar Tenzin Gyatso, be indestructible, unfluctuating and unceasing. May he live for 100 eons, seated on a diamond throne, transcending decay and destruction. You're the jewel heart embodying all compassionate beneficial deeds. O most courageous one, you carry on your shoulders the burden of all the Buddhas of the infinite realms. May all your noble aspirations be fulfilled as intended. By virtue of this, may the heavenly doors of the fortunate era open, eternally as the source of relief and respite for all beings. And may the auspicious signs reach the apex of existence and release, as the sacred teachings flourish through all times and in all realms. May the nectar stream of the blessings of the lotus holder always enter our hearts and nourish them with strength. May we please you with offerings of dedicated practice, and may we reach beyond the shores of perfect compassionate deeds. Through the blessings of the wondrous Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, by the infallible truth of the laws of dependent origination, and by the purity of our fervent aspirations, may the aims of my prayer be fulfilled without hindrance.
And dedication prayer. What page? Page 278. Shalini, say page 278.
Page 278, additional dedication prayers. In the land encircled by snow mountains, you're the source of all happiness and good. All-powerful Chenrezig Tenzin Gyatso, please remain until samsara ends. Just as the great Manjushri and Samantha Bhadra too realize things as they are. Also, I dedicate all these merits in the best way, that I may follow their perfect example. I dedicate all these roots of virtue with the dedication praised as the best by the victorious ones thus born of the 3 times, so that I might perform the noble Bodhisattva's deeds. May the Supreme Bodhisattva that has not arisen arise and grow, and may that which has arisen not diminish but increase forevermore. Jamchu Sencho Rinpoche, Vanke Padam Ke Guruche, Ke Panyam Pame Payam, Kone Gondu Varsho. As long as space remains, as long as sentient beings remain, until then may I too remain to dispel the mysteries of the world. Due to the merits of these virtuous actions, may I quickly attain the state of a Guru Buddha and lead all beings without exception into that enlightened state. I dedicate the merits thus gathered towards the realization of the deeds and the prayers of all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas of the 3 times, and to the upholding of the Dharma of teaching and realization. May I in all lives, through the force of this merit, never separate from the 4 wheels of the Mahayana vehicle, and accomplish all the stages of the path, renunciation, bodhicitta, perfect view, and the 2 stages. With the wish to free all beings, I shall always go for refuge to the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, until I reach full enlightenment. Inspired by wisdom and compassion, today in the Buddha's presence, I generate the mind of full awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings. I go for refuge to the triple gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings. I hold the precious Buddhahood in my heart. The path of union of emptiness and compassion is lucidly explained by the protector of both the Dharma and the beings of the snowland. You are the lotus holder, Tenzin Gyatso. We supplicate you that your wishes are fulfilled spontaneously. May the operations of evil thoughts and deeds of the negative forces of humans and non-humans who harbor malice to perverted prayers against the teachings of the Buddhas be totally vanquished through the power of the truth of the 3 jewels. In all my lives, never separated from perfect Gurus, may I enjoy the magnificent Dharma. By completing the qualities of the stages and paths, may I quickly attain the state of Vajradhara. Throughout my future lifetimes, may I always be guided by Arya Manjushri, and be able to uphold the Dharma in general, and the teachings on dependent origination in particular, even at the cost of my life.
Dr. Kapila is interested to hear from somebody who's already doing the Nalanda Master's course as to why he or she is doing. So here we have Lokeshi, Dr. Kapila likes to hear, and also everyone to listen to this.
Thank you for giving me this opportunity. I am not sure how much time we have. We can talk about this thing for 3 hours, we can talk for 3 minutes. So I'll make it brief. I am born and brought up in Haryana, very close from here, in Haryana. Haryana state, Haryana, close from here. And I am an engineer by education. I studied at IIT Bombay 20
Why
years
don't
ago.
you sit down? I want you to hear. Please sit down.
So I am an engineer by education, and most of my career I spent in Japan. Actually, after engineering, I went to Japan to work, and I have been working in the finance industry for most of the time. I think my family background, my father and mother are very devout Hindus, and they are very spiritual people. And from there, I think some roots of that virtue also passed on to me. And I recall having read most of the Hindu scriptures, not the Vedas and complicated ones, but the normal ones, I think by the age of 10 or 12 in a deeper sense. From there, I think when I went to Japan, exposure to Buddhism grew quite a bit, but not in a very organized sense. And I remember in 2006 or 7, when the financial crisis was unfolding, and being in the finance industry, I was right in the middle of it, going through the, I think probably the most stressful periods of the financial and the economic systems. I realized that I did not know what is the goal of my activities. I could do something, take a decision, a financial decision on behalf of my employers, and then maybe just out of luck I could win or I could lose being a trader in financial market, without knowing why it was happening or how it was happening and why I was doing it and what is the purpose of all this. So I think that, and given the background of some religious studies, not organized studies, but as a layman, that I think triggered a much more serious thought on what is the goal of life. And being there, while being a family man, being a working person, I did study a bit, and then my first impulse was actually to the Southern Buddhism, where the goal of life is much more defined in terms of nirvana, personal liberation. And through voluntary studies, I did read a few books. I mean, just buying books and reading them. And some events happened 1.5 years ago, which I would not like to go deeper into. But I thought that now it is high time. I'm now 40. That high time I commit myself to pursuing that goal rather than pursuing the worldly goals of making money, raising a house, building a things like that. So I wanted to take that plunge, but there was never a balance between, like in our studies we say, there are 6 paramitas, 3 paramitas. First 3 are easy for the layman to do. The last 3 are easier for, monks to do. But I think I was looking for something where I can practice all 6. And I think this is the place where I could do both, because I am now living in Delhi, which is perhaps the most capitalist city in the world, managing a family, managing a job, which allows me to do the first 3 paramitas, and then the last 3 paramitas, by the grace of Geshe-la and this program, I'm able to understand a bit deeper into the goal of life and how I should lead my life. So that was the goal of joining this program. And I am so grateful to all of us here, especially to Geshe-la and to Tibet House and the management of Tibet House to give us this kind of opportunity. I do ask a lot of questions in the class, which are, some of them are not conducive, some are probably conducive, but that just signifies that how much there is to learn and how much there is to explore in our minds. And with the grace of Geshe-la and His Holiness, maybe we'll get to some knowledge somewhere through this course. Thank you very much.
Now I want to hear someone who has just joined, and I want to know why.
Okay. Thank you, Geshe. Amongst the audience here, is there anyone who has applied for the Diploma course? Just raise your hands. And who like, yes, Arindamji, you like to say something? What made you to join it? Very quickly here. Come.
What is the motivation for them to join it?
And you can also introduce yourself a little bit, Arindamji. Yeah, here.
I joined the language course because...
first tell us about you,
Introduce
and
yourself.
what your background
What are you
is,
doing?
and then why you joined.
I'm from Delhi and did my schooling and college from Delhi. Did my schooling and college from Delhi. I was born in Delhi. My parents are from Delhi.
All right.
I'm a Bengali by ethnicity.
Which college did you go to?
From Venkateshwara.
All right, fine.
And thereafter, I've been working in various diplomatic missions. And my wife's Tibetan. She's of Sikkimese heritage. I mean, a Tibetan heritage. She's Sikkimese, and that got me going to all the Tibetan circuit, be it Dharamshala, be it Ladakh, be it down south. and of course my in-laws are in Sikkim. So that kind of exposed me to the Tibetan culture, the Buddhist culture, and I have a lot of friends in the community. So I thought learning the language would help me connect with them better. So then I joined the language program here in Tibet House, and I got to know about this diploma course. I spoke with Geshe-la and he said, you must, if you want to further your interest and you want to, and I want to add, what should I say? I want to contribute to the Tibetan community through engaging with the Tibetan youth. And he said, he guided me, he directed me saying that probably they will appreciate more if you do the diploma course and you're doing the master's course. They will connect with you better, and hence the motivation and the reason why I want to join. I think probably I was the first one to register for the course, and I've been after Geshe-la to continue the language course in a more holistic and a more deeper sense of a language program, and he's been graceful enough to do that. And to the fact that the language course was supposed to start after Losar, but all the requests, he ensured that it started early February. So that's.
Thank you. Good.
That's it.
Huh?
We stop here now.
Huh?
We go now.
This over? Thank you for inviting me.
Thank you.
Best Lord.
Yeah.
Oh, that's all right. You don't want me to speak, do you?
Sorry.
You don't want me to speak.
No.
Huh? He doesn't want me to speak. Huh? And I think he's quite clear in his mind that he doesn't want me to speak. So I won't speak. But I'd like to thank him and what do I say about all that we have said and prayed for His Holiness. I'm here because I have had the great benediction of knowing him from the day that he arrived in India. And that is why I'm here. And I have known his journey from Tibet to India and have been a follower or whatever you say, but to have his benediction for all of these years. I'm also a kind of a historical figure because I have known this institution before it was established and have watched what the work of this institution has been for all these decades. I am no scholar of Tibet Buddhism, even if I have read a certain amount. I want to say that in this world today, there are two main motivations. One, ego. I. We. The other is how do I become in material terms, whether rich or in material terms famous. And what the teaching that Buddhism or what you're learning here brings you to is to deal with your own ego, your personal ego, your former ego in terms of an institution, and your ego also in terms of your nationality. I am, we are, I am, we are, I am, we are, I am, we are. We are doing that all the time. And apart from the details of the teaching that Geshe and others will tell you, if as young people involved in your different disciplines and involved in your work, you can inside you say, instead of saying I am, say I'm not. Because the moment you say I am not, and there is with a deeper thing, you get away from your personal ego, your institutional ego, and even more your national identity. And I think that this teaching is something that puts you on the path. And as we just heard from him, this brings about a transformation. That is, you don't become a sannyasi, you don't become, but your entire motivation and your value system for living in this life without becoming a monk. How do you do it? And how do you carry it up further? Every tragedy has a positive side. The tragedy of Tibet, and I happen to be that generation of Indians who knows from the moment of what happened in the Patula Palace, His Holiness's journey to India, and when he arrived here, and then his journey to Dharamshala, and what he has done from that moment of exile. And I still remember seeing him come on that pony to India, and the establishment of, before you were born, my dear, establishment in Dharamshala. And the establishment then He has thanked the government of India. I also happen to be a factotum of the government of India. The establishment of this institution, and much more, the establishment of the Central Institute of Higher Tibetan Studies in Sarnath. It is there that a terrific liaison was made. You were all here in Tibet House with Buddhism, but remember that there was an antagonism between conventional, or as they say in Hindi, Sakyanusi, Hinduism and Buddhism. And in a manner of speaking, we the Indians really banished Buddhism. And we asserted a certain type of a ego of our own faith and our own philosophy. As we know that Parapavan, His Holiness, has spoken often of the Nalanda tradition. He has spoken of the value of the Nalanda tradition, and that tradition of Buddhism is something that he has carried with himself, beyond himself, to the world. I'm an old woman. I have seen all this. And the fact that this place and the other Tibetan institutions, not only in Dharamshala but in South India and in Varanasi and so on, are doing a very important work. You must realize that you are just human vehicles for taking the message of the Tathagat into this world in our times for not just yourself, but for whatever your situation is and where you are locally, nationally, internationally, because what is our, I will not get into the philosophic system, what is the message apart from all that you get? Two things. One, that I must get out of my own individual ego. Is that right? Do you agree?
Yes.
The other is that we cannot solve problems through violence, through battles, through wars. Because all that the modern world has been doing is that if we want to have peace, we should fight with each other. And by fighting, we think we'll bring peace. You and I have a difference of opinion, and then therefore I fight with you, and then I win. And I say, I have brought about peace. You see the illogic of our situation, whether in a small way or in an international way. We say that international conflicts. Now, therefore, there should be wars. Can war ever bring about peace? And the message of the Buddha of the Tathagata has been to get out of yourself and not be egocentric. It is non-violence long before even our great apostle in the modern world, Mahatma Gandhi, spoke about non-violence. So, those of you who have come here from your different identities and your working and so on, if you have been called, literally called by someone to take these courses, you have also been given the challenge of how to bring it about in your working life and to see that this world is a better and peaceful, and to have the basic message that peace cannot be brought about by wars. That's all that I can say to you. I'm honored that I have been called. I'm very small, and thanks to his generosity and it's been my privilege to be in touch with the children. And thank you all, and may the Buddha and the Tathagata bless.
Thank you, Dr. Kapila Vasanji. This is really a big blessing for all of us from Dr. Kapilaji. In fact, when I first went to extend the invitation, Dr. Kapilaji told me that whatever should be said, you should say this, and I will not say anything. So that's what she said there, and we are very lucky. Because somehow, how Tibet was given to being, the vision of His Holiness the Dalai Lama, the dream of His Holiness, and then on the ground, Dr. Kapilaji was there to really make it happen. And then likewise the Central University of Tibetan Studies, it also, again, Dr. Kapilaji played such an important role to make these things actually happen. So we're so lucky, we're so fortunate that we all got the blessings from Dr. Kapilaji on the Happy Tibetan New Year. Okay, thank you. Thank you for the